If it was up to me, I would stay in Chicago. I love this city. The city's lit. The fans there, they're great. But it's a business. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Justin Fields has spoken. He was speaking on a podcast with Amon-Ra St. Brown discussing the likelihood of leaving Chicago, what he would prefer, what he thinks about all the rumors and such. And basically people are taking this and they're twisting it exactly the way they want it. There's a lot here, but there's nothing specific that should indicate that he knows what's actually going on. What we do know is that there are rumors, not corroborated by any means. We have no way to figure out what's true and what's not at this point. We're in the middle of smoke season, but a lot of rumors and unnamed sources, which is why we can't truly figure it out, that the Bears have talked to several teams about Justin Fields, like that there's conversations that have been had. And at some point you got to think this thing's already been rolling downhill too long. There's no way to pull it back. And Justin Fields is doing the politically correct thing by speaking positively to the fan base. As you notice in his response, it's about the fans. It's not about, hey, I want to play for the Chicago Bears. Hey, I want to play, for Ryan Poles in this organization. He's literally saying, if it were up to me, I would stay. I love the city. The city's lit. I love the fans. The fans are great. But it is a business. Took it in a different direction. I think everybody here knows that Justin Fields is gone. He's as good as gone, ladies and gentlemen. And you can say that he's not getting traded because you're a Bears fan and you want him to stay, but this is not the right move for the Chicago Bears, nor do I think they're set up for success no matter what they do. I want Fields gone. I want Fields in a place where he can actually be nurtured and brought along properly. I think the OC move of Shane Waldron to Chicago was an absolute horrible move. And I don't know that that's going to help either Justin Fields or the incoming rookie, most likely Caleb Williams. So I kind of want the player I don't believe in the most, which would be Caleb here. Not that Caleb couldn't thrive in Washington with Kingsbury in an air attack like that. I would be on board with Caleb in Washington. I'm not on board with Caleb in Chicago. And I'm not on board really with Fields in Chicago, for that matter, to make things really complicated. I want Fields out of there. I want Fields in Atlanta. There's word that he followed Kyle Pitts. He followed Drake London, followed Bijan Robinson. Nobody fully knows if he was already following them, but a lot of people reporting, maybe wrongly, maybe appropriately, that he followed a few of those guys, if not all three, recently. And he did say that Atlanta's where he's from, and talked about that on the podcast. I think the Atlanta Falcons will be phenomenal. He also said that he loves the idea, or talked about how good Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson were. So Atlanta came up. It came up because it's his home. It came up because of the talent there, and that he would ball out in Atlanta. This would be a fantastic fit. It feels like a very likely scenario. If I had to put my finger on this and say he's going here, and I'm predicting it, even though I can't predict it with any sort of certainty, I don't even know how confident I feel. It's just my highest, if I have a pie chart of percentage chance of where Fields is going to go, I want to say the piece of the pie that would be the biggest, and I don't know if it'd even be half the percentage amount, like 50%, and then the rest of it's 10, 15, 10. I kind of feel like the biggest piece of that pie would say percentage chance Atlanta. I feel like it's probably like maybe a 40% chance he goes to Atlanta, and no other landing spot to me. And I'm going to pull up the NFL draft just because it's easy to really kind of see the lay of the land. I really don't know that anybody else will hold more than a 10 or 15% odds. If this is my educated guess, I'd say Atlanta holds a a 35 to 40% chance of landing Fields. I think Washington, New England. I think LV doesn't feel like it's even remotely close to possible because they bring Getsy over as OC. He's the one that failed Fields in Chicago. Why would you bring Getsy over OC? Chicago, they moved on. He's not good enough for them. And then all of a sudden he goes over to LV and he's going to what? They're going to bring Fields over and say, hey, you did a real bad job with this over in Chicago. Let's try it over here. I don't think so. Denver, Minnesota, Seattle, these are all New Orleans potential landing spots, but the one that feels the most concrete to me, the 40% chance of happening, every other one of these spots couldn't be more than at most 10%. Some of them lesser. This is it. Atlanta feels like it's probably the landing spot. I feel like the Falcons, too, with Zach Robinson, this offensive-minded master that came over from this Rams situation. Zach Robinson with this defensive-minded Raheem Morris, good defense, and even Fields said that's a good defense. St. Brown said, yeah, the Falcons have a good defense. They talked about it. Morris is going to, even though he's head coach, he's going to install a defensive mentality that he brought to the Rams, and it's going to be fantastic on the defensive side of the ball. Zach Robinson is in charge of the offense fully, and Zach Robinson's going to do similar things that he did with Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and Kyron Williams. This is going to be one of the most exciting offenses in the National Football League, and I think people don't see it coming to the degree that it's going to be brought because they're used to what Arthur Smith has installed in their head, that this might not be a full-functioning, totally unveiled offense. This is a held-back offense. There's a governor on this thing. But Zach Robinson's a magician, and everybody's about to see it unfold. I believe Fields is going to Atlanta. I was right about a lot of this so far in terms of the coaching carousel. I actually hit that button on accident, but it worked out perfectly. I was right about Zach Robinson going to Atlanta. I was right about this Washington trio that they got going on here. Adam Peters going to Washington. Adam Peters putting in an offensive mastermind that some are going to rip on and say Kingsbury's trash. I got my boy C Mac in the building. I know he's going to hate Kingsbury because he's a Niner fan. Niner fans hate Kingsbury. Cardinal fans, look, he didn't have the best head coaching experience here. But if you're a Cardinal fan, you know the offense was lit at times, unraveled, injury struck. But this is an absolute glorious tripod right here in Kingsbury, Adam Peters, who will surround this team with talent, and Dan Quinn bringing defensive grit to this situation. And this is the formula that's working all over the league now. This is the formula. Look at DeMeco Wright. Look at how that's working in Houston. You've got Stoic in charge of everything offensively, and that's what Zach Robinson's going to bring to the table. I think Fields plays in Atlanta. I think Fields goes to Atlanta. Zach Robinson will make it so. He wants a QB that good. Raheem Morris wants a QB that good. This new staff knows that the quarterback position, not getting the most out of Bijan, London, and Pitts was the problem. Your interview questions were simple. Hey, let's do a little quick interview with Raheem Morris. Hi, Mr. Morris. Thank you for applying for this job. What is it that you think you bring to the table? Actually, let me simplify this, Raheem. We've got 3 questions for you. This is your interview. These 3 questions, and that's all we got. Will you start Bijan Robinson and play him often? Yes, I will. Okay. Fantastic. The answer number 1 correctly. Question number 2. Do you like fantasy? Are my batteries going low on this? I think the batteries are running out on this. Do you like Kyle Pitts? And do you like fantasy? Yes, I do. I'll throw the ball to Kyle Pitts all day long.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
All right, this is a trick question, Raheem. Is Ritter your starting quarterback? And if not, who do you want? He said, who's Ritter?
Let's go. Mashed potatoes.
You're hired, sir. You're hired, sir. That was actual interview footage of Raheem Morris when he was interviewing for the Falcons. Those were the 3 questions they asked. They basically at that point said, "Would you like a coffee?" And he said, "Yeah. Go get me a coffee. I'm now the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm bringing in Zach Morris. I'm bringing it. Robinson. Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson. I'm getting tongue-tied. This is happening, folks. Zach Robinson's bringing in Justin Fields. I could feel it. Raheem Morris is bringing in Justin Fields. I could feel it. Brewing. I can feel it in my gut, in my core. We got DeBalt dropping a $2 hauler. Says Justin Fields won to Atlanta. DeBalt's been wanting it for a while too. DeBalt is in here every day trying to will this to happen. I feel it. I feel it's happening. This other piece of news here, and we'll obviously talk about Fields the entire show. Barkley, it is not expected that the franchise tag will be used on Saquon Barkley, and he will hit the open market. This is a rumor. A lot of these are rumors. Understand that, but it does feel like Barkley's not going to get tagged based on what I'm hearing. Things change really quickly in this league. Oh, here's another piece of here's a quote that Fields said when he was on the podcast with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He said when asked, "Hey, you unfollowed the Bears. What's that about?" He's like, "Man, I'm just trying to I'm trying to have not football all over my timeline, you know? Like he's tired of going into IG and seeing, will he be traded? So he's getting a lot of football off of his timeline, including the Bears, including a lot of teams. He's not following the Falcons. He's not following anybody else. He's following the players. But he said, just because you don't follow the girl on IG don't mean you're not messing with them. So he was trying to say, he says, I still mess with the Bears. This is almost the exact quote, I believe. And his unfollow was not something that should have indicated that he feels he's gone. However, his quote here is very, very direct. It says this is a business. He knows that he's going somewhere else. And the rumors are all over the place. All over the place that teams are being talked to. This is happening. He's leaving. There's 82 of you in here. Only 20 thumbs up. Hit that thumb up button on the way in the door. Where's the other piece of news? I have this right here. Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is a release candidate. He could be cut at any moment when the offseason moves along here, because he's going to save the team a whole bunch of money. Let me find the exact number. I think I have it right here. If Alvin Kamara is released, I'm not saying he will be, but he's a cut candidate. The cap room saved if he's cut is, I think, $12 million. So if they release him, $12 million. 2024 cap hit, if he's retained, is about $19 million. So it depends how they view Alvin Kamara. It depends how they view their situation. He could be a cap casualty. But New Orleans.football's Nick Underhill believes Saints offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak will install a run game that will produce Alvin Kamara with more space, or provide Alvin Kamara with more space, and more ability to operate and produce in that space. So we'll see what happens. There's obviously, a whole lot that can happen between now and the NFL draft. Wouldn't shock me if the New Orleans Saints cut him and then drafted some rookie and paired them with Kendre Miller and a few other backs. I don't know that this is a lock that Alvin Kamara is playing football in New Orleans. Now, if he gets released, he'll be an interesting running back. Even though he's getting older, he'll be an interesting running back to add to this free agent running back pool of players. He'd be in the bucket of Eckler, older, but who knows what he still has left. These are the 3 bigger dogs here. Jacobs being the youngest, Barkley being probably the most well-rounded and mix of young and old veteran. He's got 2 years. He'll give you 2.5 years. He'll give you maybe 3. He'll give you maybe 1 if you're lucky, Derrick Henry. So, but it all just depends on what the cost is of these guys and what you're trying to accomplish as a team. Dallas, they want to win in 2024. Dallas is not worried about 2025, 2026, 2027 as much as they are 2024. At least McCarthy isn't, because he's on the hot seat if they don't do it this year. So he's going to be all about what helps me now, and probably Derrick Henry or Barkley. Well, Jacobs too. I mean, they're all three great, but I could see Henry being a real strong consideration, and I could see Jerry Jones wanting that big name. Yeah, so that's I don't know how much more news we have that's new. Fields, I took, here's the Barkley news. Already did that. I think we're covered. Other than the fact that we've got all this other news on screen, again, Barkley to hit the open market. We covered a lot of this yesterday, but Brandon Ayuk, Sauce Gardner talking about Brandon Ayuk and saying that Brandon Ayuk is the one receiver who's always open, that doesn't get thrown to as much, when he had 1,400 yards. This is our boy Raj, RSF 49ers. Go follow him on Instagram. It's kind of weird. He had a 1,400 yard season. It comes down to just the fact that, like, in the Super Bowl, he wasn't used. But I don't know that I agree with Sauce Gardner completely. But Ayuk is potentially in a lot of trade rumors. And that's not going to go away until the Niners extend him, because he's going to put up a bigger fight every day we move along. The worst part is when a player like Ayuk is kind of in almost holdout mode in their mind, right? And they see these other players sign these big, huge contracts, or they see a trade happen, and then the person gets traded to a place where it's fresh, it's new, and then someone like Ayuk's looking at this going, I'm very bitter right now that I didn't get the football in the Super Bowl. I'm very bitter about this and that. Sauce Gardner's talking me up, and Sauce is trying to recruit him over to New York. And you're seeing Ayuk look at all this, and Ayuk seeing a team trade for a player. They want the player. They bring him over, and then they sign him to an extension, and then he sees it, and then he goes, where's my team? What's my team doing? And then John Lynch and Shanahan go to a press conference, and they sit there together side by side, and they look at each other, and someone asks a question, when are you going to extend Ayuk? Are you going to extend Ayuk? We're going to do everything we can to extend him. Our process is to wait till August or, whatever, later in the offseason. That's the Niner way. And we'll take care of him if we can take care of him. That's not going to fly with Ayuk. Ayuk is going to put up a fuss. He's going to request a trade. It's going to get really messy. It doesn't matter if you believe at the end of the day, like Debo, and I'm the one that said Debo's going to be in San Francisco. Calm down. Everybody calm down. And I even went on Raj's Instagram. Again, follow my boy Raj, RSF 49ers. 300,000+ people, can't be wrong. I go on IG all the time live with Raj. And in there, I would say Debo's he's going to be on the team. A lot of the fan base is just freaking out and trashing him. At least 1/3 of the fan base is just irate at Debo constantly. It's going to get that bad. Ayuk's going to get absolutely shredded in the live stream comments when we go live on IG, in the comments of any Instagram post, on Twitter especially, because Twitter is very toxic. And you're going to have Ayuk getting thrashed to pieces. I'm not saying he won't eventually get extended by this Niner way late in August, but it's going to create animosity. And as Raj said on his live stream when we went live, or actually Raj might have said this, I forget when, but C-Mac came on and called in yesterday, as C-Mac said that when is a player had one of these crazy holdout-like off seasons, even if they eventually get their bag, like Debo did, like Bosa, and not play very bad that very next year. Horrible year. Like Bosa didn't have the greatest year. The year Debo is extended and held out, he had a horrible year. And if Ayuk is not with the team, building very important rapport with freaking Brock Purdy, who still needs to develop quite a bit, because everybody's put him on a pedestal and teams are going to be coming gunning for him. And now there's so much more film on him, and this is going to be a tough year for Brock Purdy. A lot of expectations for him. People don't realize how hard it's going to be on Brock Purdy this year. And you don't have Ayuk there because the Niner ways to wait. Why wait? If you're going to sign him, sign him. Not to mention, as I asked C-Mac when he called in yesterday, very, very big avid Niner fan and page. Okay, C-Mac said he didn't have an answer, and he's just being honest. Usually him and I go back and forth on Niner stuff. He was very candid. He said, I don't know. Why do the Niners not extend Ayuk and actually free up money to use it because Ayuk's fifth-year option is going to cost the team more in 2024 than if you extended him and kicked the can down the road a little bit. I don't understand it. Animosity, fan base between the fan base and the team, animosity between Ayuk and his team. I don't feel loved. No preparation. Brock Purdy gets hurt by this. Not injured, but gets his rapport with Ayuk is maybe not where it could have been. I'm not saying it gets dwindled down to nothing, but good God, we've seen it. This is a recipe, rinse and repeat. You hold out, whether it's your fault, the team's fault, whatever. There's a disconnect all offseason long. You come in and play like Shiat. That is the way it happens, time and time and time again. And I don't think it will be any different this time. That is your news, ladies and gentlemen, and the phone lines are now open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We got more boss horn complaints up the wazoo. I don't know what to do at this point, quite frankly. As much as I want to stand my ground and be like, we're doing it, you can, whatever. I don't want to tell 100, like at this point, it's like we're getting close to hundreds of people I do firmly respect, very much respect that have said it, and hundreds have said they love it. It's definitely a 50-50 divide. But I have about 50 to 100 diehard that I consider them diehard people over the last like 2 days, and I had 10 as of recently say, very recently comments. Smitty, I think the boss horn's great and all, but I would like it to potentially go. And at first, like I said, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. This is not, no one's strong arming Smitty. But at the end of the day, I need to look out for what's best for this channel. And if it's literally driving people away, or they can't listen anymore on their morning drive, or they, with their family in the car, and they're like, turn the horn off. I can't, like, if they can't, I don't understand all the dynamics that play in everybody's family. Some people are bathing. They're like, I'm in a shower, Smitty, and I have to scramble to get out and turn it down because I'm trying to hear it and play it loud. Like, I get it. I get it, but it's frustrating to me. You got to understand, it's frustrating to me. I love the boss horn. It's like you telling me to say goodbye to a family member. I just don't know where we're at with it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's gone. I'm not saying it's staying. I just don't know. It really, really kind of irritates me that so many people don't love this thing. I'm not mad at anybody, but it irritates me that it is not more well received. Part of me is like, okay, when I say, what if we lower the volume? Then the people that love the boss horn are mad at that. And the people that don't love the boss horn are like, I don't know. It depends how much it lowers it. I thought about, what if we wrap my microphone? Let's try something. Can everybody that is boss horn triggered bear with me for a second? Okay, let's do a little test.
Alert. Super chat alert.
We're gonna Karen wrap this thing.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I don't know. Am I loud right now? Is this really loud? We need to Karen wrap this. Let's see if we can Karen wrap the microphone so that we can have a little boss horn fun. So here it is. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. How muffled am I? How muffled am I right now? Is this loud enough? Is this still loud? Because we don't want it loud. We got to make this a successful tester. The boss horn might be gone. Let's put a jacket on this thing. We're gonna boss horn wrap the mic. I've got shirts around it. I've got a towel. I've got 2 shirts around it. I've got my jacket on top of it. Can I get honest feedback from a Boss Horn hate. Let's wrap it one more time. Wrap it one more time. Let's get another shirt. Oh God. It wasn't even wrapped because it fell. Okay. Jacket. No, we're going to wrap it with a shirt first. Wrap it with a shirt. Karen, wrap it very nice and tight. Wrap it here. Wrap it here. Okay, hello. Test. Test. Why is it so loud? Why is it still so loud? I've got the thing covered. The thing's covered. Okay, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's muffled. Good. Okay. Jacket's going on top. All right. Test. Here we go. I want honest feedback. If you're a Boss Horn hater, tell me if this decibel level is too high. Honest feedback time. Honest feedback time. If I wrap the microphone, is that going to drive you away? I want a true Boss Horn hater to call in right now. You're not supposed to wrap it more than once, Smitty, says Hoosiers. I got to wrap this thing constantly in order to get the Boss Horn, anti-Boss Horn people happy, okay? I can't worry about the people that love the Boss Horn. I can't listen to you guys right now saying, don't wrap it. I have to wrap it. I can't even listen to those comments because I got to keep the Boss Horn people happy by keeping the Boss Horn any way we can keep it. Carrie says it's the same. I can't hear, but this is so... Are we? Yeah, well, you can hear me. What are you talking about? I love the Boss Horn. It's the same. That horn is the boss. For real, doesn't make... Okay, you're not going to want to do this every time. Ridiculous. No, I'll create something that I just keep on that microphone. If I ever need to use the microphone, I'll slide it off. Boss Horn gate. I think the Boss Horn is fine, but listen to metal music so your ears are shot. You do what you got to do, Smitty. Some people are too delicate. Look, it doesn't... Yeah, I mean, D-Town, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but, like, I can't have, like, literally 50 comments a day from different people being like, Smitty, what are you going to do? Or if I leave, blah, blah, blah. The horn is still loud. I don't know what we're going to do. This is just a prototype, okay? Let's, so we got the volume all the way down. We got it on, let me put it on cardioid, or let's figure out what we can do here. Okay. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't understand how this is going through this. Like, I'm literally wrapping this thing. Like, I don't get how you can hear anything. Test, 1, 2. How can you hear this? I'm literally wrapping this thing in t-shirts. What if I put my shoe on it? Test, 1, 2. Let's put a Jordan on it. Hello, test, 1, 2. You can still hear me. Why is it so loud? I've got a Jordan on it. All right, let's wrap it now. Jordan's on it. We'll wrap the base so we can't get any seepage through the crack. We'll wrap this now. We'll put this shirt around here. And we'll put the jacket, the thick, double-lined jacket on top. Test, 1, 2. Why is it so loud? It's literally as loud as before. Boss horn activation. I don't know. Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote. I'm gonna put a vote up. Should the boss horn go? Yes. No. Oh God. The microphone stand almost broke. What do we come to? What kind of world we live in? All right, here's the vote. The poll. Do it live. Vote now. I'll pin the poll. I'll put it in the poll again. Here's the poll. Should the boss horn... Oh, no. Boss horn vote. Boss horn vote. Here's the poll. Do it live. Let me put the results in. Can't believe we have 3 out of 7 votes already. I just can't believe it. All right, here are the results. Big nasty toenail. Big nasty toenail ad right in front of the poll. The world. Look at the votes. 6 votes. 7 votes. You know what I'm saying? I know you pro boss horn people are like, Smitty, let it ride. Don't give in. But like, look at it. It's like half the votes. It's I'm telling you. I feel it more than you guys do. 19-8. Keep voting. Keep voting. Let me pin the poll. Unbelievable. I guess I can try and get in the head of a person that is watching the show in a very unique setting, and they're like, I can't have the horn. I can't. It's not that I don't want to hear the horn. I just can't have it. 19-8, 20-8, and one of those votes is mine. The 20, 21-8. I'm a little bummed. But I got to do what's right for the show. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more boss horn. Look at D-Town. D-Town's like fired off. Don't care if it goes or not. I need more information. While Bill says no, where's the poll, brother? It's in the chat. It's pinned. 21-11. You guys know what I'm 21-12? No horn party. Look at ESQ. Boss horn to the moon, says Blunt. This is oppression to the boss horn. This is absolute. Half the votes. 12 out of 36 votes. What's up, Perps?
What's up?
It's a sad day. Sad day, Perps. Look, I'm trying. Well, because we're doing the vote right now. I'm trying to be open-minded to the voices that are coming to me And I've done this a long time to know when I recognize a pattern of displeasure that is great enough to make sure I do more investigation work. And so I could just use all the positive comments off of yesterday's live stream and say Boss Horn Stan. But like, I'm doing a poll right now. I got nonstop messages from very, very big fans of the show, people I recognize. I had 10 comments in a row on my last series of comments that I replied to. From about 7 or 8 of them were really avid followers, people I totally respect, not just random names that I've never seen before. Like 7 or 8 out of the 9 or 10. And they're like, look, this is a scenario for me. I just can't. It's not that I don't love the horn or something along those lines, but like the way I watch the show, I just can't anymore. Like until later, like I'll watch it, Smitty. I'll watch it late at night, but I can't do it during work anymore. I can't. And so we're here. And I say, you know what? I'm going to put a poll up. And if this poll's even remotely close, I got to consider what I need to do moving forward. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it's gone. We tried to wrap it with all kinds of shirts. The mic, I could get a third mic. I just don't know if it's going to mess up some of my setup to the point where it's not worth it. But I could get a third mic and lower that specific mic down all the way. Otherwise, I got to adjust the mic level every single time I fire off the Boss Horn. It's just not going to be worth it. And then I think you've said, if I fire the Boss Horn off and you can barely hear it, like, what's the point? So I guess I'll be here to ask you, as an avid super chatter on this channel, Hung Like Hernandez dropping a $4.99. What would be the best thing you can think of off the top of your head that would celebrate your super chat in a way that would be accepting, exciting, and fun?
Well, before I'd answer that, I'd like to turn the question over to the 9 or 10 or 11 people that don't like it. I mean, what's the law of averages? I mean, if you're going to start bending over and affecting your show over 9 or 10 people, then what if there's another group of 9 or 10 people that don't like something said one way?
It's not 9 or 10 people, though. I've measured it over the last 48 hours. It's not 9 or 10 people. It's literally like 40% of everybody watching. It's not that they'll leave. It's that 40% don't want it, and then maybe 10% of that, or 5%, and probably a small portion of that, is willing, like saying crazy things like, "Oh, stop watching the show," you know, which I don't care about. I don't care about 5% of. Well, I do care about 5% of people, but I mean, I don't care. I don't want someone to dictate my content or how I do anything. But I also, like I said, I've been doing this long enough that I can smell a difference between a couple people that are just rubbed the wrong way that are loud, and in like a near 50% of everybody's thinking this. And it's unfortunate because you fall in the other percentage, right? But I mean, look at the vote, or not 50%, it's like 25 to 30%. But look at the vote, 27 to 16. Like, no matter where I pull it, if I go to my comments, if I go to the phone calls, if I go to a live vote, if I go to my DMs, I'm seeing at least this exact ratio. And it's constant. It's not 10 people. It's 37% of the people that don't want it. But again, not 30% are willing to leave, but 30% of the people are saying, I don't want it. I don't want it. 30%. It's right. I mean, it's right in front of our face right here, unfortunately. I know it's a sad day, Perps, and I don't bend over for anything. You know me. I'm very, very much a rogue, do my own thing, but like I do have to look out for the majority of the way this puppy grows. And if 37%, now it's at 38%, 38% of the votes, we've got 44 votes already, votes pinned, they want it gone, and it's affecting their ability to watch. What am I to do? What am I to do? Stand on my principles?
And I'm not talking about your vote. I'm talking about the people that said have complained in the last 24 hours through posting on the video or whatever. Like, ultimately, look at it this way. When you give standing ovations for people during the season that are trying to do start bench questions the hour before kickoff or this or that, that takes away from the football product. And I'd like to ask all those people that don't like it, why don't they call in and give their reason? Have them be anonymous and have them give their reason. If it's because of earbuds, then they need to turn their phone down.
Yeah,
I
but
listen to the show and do the show only through earbuds.
Yeah, but here's
what I'm getting at is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But,
No, go ahead.
no, what I was going to say is what I'm getting at is it's not like the boss horn goes off every 30 seconds or every 2 minutes. If we need to increase it from $19.99 and you have to do a $40, so two $20 super chats, or it has to be 50 and above, or you can only do so many in a half-hour period or something of the effect to limit it, or we do a button like you do when, like Smitty disapprove, where you create something that alerts them to, hey, mute it quick or turn it down because I'm going to give the boss horn a holler, or do you look at, the people that don't like it, they want to super chat in and put the boss horn into timeout where it goes into the boss horn jail and it can't be fired off for so much time, or I don't know.
Well, okay, so let's
I
just.
I don't think it needs to detract away from the show, and it needs to be like X from the show, because then you're catering to a small percentage.
But I'm not. But that's what I'm saying, Perp. I'm not. I've investigated this thoroughly. It's not a small percentage. I thought it was initially, just because I thought, these people are loud. I got to put new batteries into this thing. I thought, okay, these people are being loud, and that's why they're just in the front row. Kind of like I described to you earlier. I think you're at a concert, and you've got 7 or 8 haters in the front of the near the stage, and they're like, "You suck. This band sucks." And then you got like 10 or other people around them, and you think that the whole crowd hates you. But then, like, you look out past it, and everybody else is fine with it. It's like you're letting these 7 people speak for the majority. But I've looked into it, and I like literally, I'm doing polls. I'm going to DMs. I'm going to different locations, and you're getting 40%. Remember what I told you? 40% of the people. It's no matter where I pull it, 40% is not wanting the horn. It's not a small proportion of people at all. It sucks. I'm not happy about it.
Everyone that's here isn't here for the boss horn. We're here for the fantasy football content.
I know.
We're here for you.
I know.
Your knowledge, the work you put into it. It's just a fun little thing that's added to the culture of the people that are here for the lives that are committed. I get it. The people that listen outside of the live, could it be disruptive to them at times or this or that? Yes. Do I respect that everyone has an opinion, whether it's on football or the boss horn? Absolutely. I'm just trying to speak in the broad terms of looking at it from the outside. Like, there's so many different angles you can look at it. Ultimately, the buck stops with you. You got to do what you feel is right for your show. This is your show.
Let's take a random call. Let's take a random call and see what Andy says. Andy, what do you feel about the boss horn? Be honest. I won't get mad at you.
Like, it's trash. I don't get it. Like, it's just an obnoxious horn. I mean, I get you guys want to listen to it, but, like, sometimes my girlfriend will be sleeping or whatever next to me. So if I'm watching the show and the freaking horn goes off and it wakes her up, you know what I mean? It's a problem.
So here's where I don't agree with Andy, but I understand Andy. And here's the problem, Perps, is like, I'm telling you, it's a bigger problem than I think you realize, and then I realized even 24 hours ago. It's not, if you watch the show a certain way and you kind of have that obnoxious humor, then it's not going to bother you. And there's a ton of people watching this show that love that. And we're obnoxious. Nothing's going to be taken away. I'm not dumbing down any part of my show whatsoever. This is one little aspect that I'm getting so much feedback on in a negative way. It's not a small amount of people. I thought it was. I thought it was 10 or 12 loud people that were trying to represent the whole show and trying to get me to get rid of it. But it literally is absolutely like near 50% well received and no higher.
No, and I totally respect and get where Andy's coming from. I'm not hating on a comment like that.
Sucks,
if his free time when he can listen to the show is while he's laying in bed next to his gal and she's sleeping, yeah, we don't need to be waking people up, but then is there an opportunity to wear earbuds or this or that?
But how many viewers?
What if you get on a Smitty rant?
But how many viewers do you lose when you're like, okay, in order to watch my show, you've got to have AirPods. You've got to be in the right, you know what I mean? Like at some point as a content creator, I've got to accept that this just doesn't work for everybody. It sucks. Maybe we use the boss horn out on the streets and we go just terrorize with it on a segment like once a week or every once in a while. But I think at this point, I just feel like look at that 44%. It's 29 votes no, 23 votes yes. No matter what forum I pull it in, it's breaching 50-50 now on this poll. I just think that I got to make the right move. I got to make a smart move, a smart business move. I don't want to do this. I'm very, very openly against it, but I want to make sure I'm not turning away a lot of people. And Mr. TD says turn the volume down. Now, Andy, explain why that would be such an inconvenience to you to wear AirPods or turn it down or whatever. I just want to hear the perspective of, like, is it just too much of a hassle to where you're like, forget it, I'm just not going to do any of that. I don't have much time.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna, when you're with your girl, you gotta watch your BS shows, and then if she falls asleep, I'm gonna watch whatever the hell I want. And I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, I gotta go get earbuds now and do other things? No, I'm just gonna turn the TV to whatever the heck I want. And I don't know, there's enough, to me, I mean, I get it, people like it, but there's so many obnoxious things in this world. Freaking people with loud cars and Harleys, and I don't understand why I want to worry about that in my. I mean, it's not the end of the world for me. I'll watch the show regardless.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think it's what Perps the difference between I think what Perps you're envisioning a little bit and what this 46% now, 29 to 25. Of the 25 no vote, get rid of the boss horn votes. Yes, get rid of it. Yes, get rid of it. Probably two of them, maybe one of them would quit watching the show. The problem is that the 26 people that have said yes, get rid of the boss horn, they might actually, even though they won't not watch the show or unfollow, they might give the show less views, so much less watch time because they are inconvenienced by it. They will find a way to watch it, but guess what? They're going to consume a lot less content because now they can't watch things quite the same. They can't always watch it live because they're at work or they're doing something. And so, yeah, you're right. They're not going to quit, but they're going to be less engaged. I got to make a smart move. I hate doing it. It's not that the boss horn will be gone. We'll take it out into the streets. Maybe I don't know. We'll figure out.
I get what he's saying. He's watching it on his TV in his bedroom, so he's going off the sound, and I get how that can be disruptive. I lay in bed next to my wife when she's sleeping, and I got an earbud in, and it's on my cell phone. So I mean, there's two different segments there. I get it, and earbuds don't work for them. They don't work for them. It's not for everyone. I'm just pointing out that is this the end all be all? No, we're here for the football.
So let me ask you a question, Perps. Let me ask you a question. What could I do though? The money gun people did love that at first, it really did. What could I do that would make it feel near as cool? Just give a warning. It's not that easy, Spacula. Like Andy, would a warning do any good for you? You're sitting there without AirBuds, AirPods.
I mean,
it's like, what are you gonna do? Like. Now you gotta fast
TV every time. Or,
you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I don't think it's gonna. There's got to be something else I can replace it with. I thought about this wouldn't be any better because this would be just as loud. But I thought about if I had a drum set in here, and anytime someone did $100 super chat, I just started drumming away. But that wouldn't be any better. What can I do, Perps?
No,
How about what if I created some amazing animation for every tier level and I send that super chatter on a mission and at the end of it we put you on Saturn, whatever. I don't know. Like what would be fun? Because I want something to be I want $100 hard to be fun.
Right, but that's the same thing that everyone on here is saying is that the boss horn's a gimmick and this and that. Well, that's a gimmick. I mean, in all seriousness, I would ask Andy or anyone else, and this isn't just directed at Andy because he's only one vote. He's not all these votes. But from his point of view and his perspective as well, I feel that like when Ron Navy is on one of his rants and he gets you riled up and tuned up and you get yelling into the mic and you get all animated, you can be louder than the boss horn sometimes.
That's
does
true.
that need to stop?
Yeah, I do get comments about that. You stop yelling, and I tell people to kick rocks. Like, I'll yell if I want. But I mean, Andy, explain the difference on that. If I'm getting into a rant, and I'm yelling. What's that do for you? I can't
I don't
change.
mind that as much. I find that kind of entertaining, like when you go back and forth. But I mean, a horn. I mean, it's just a gimmick. You know what I mean? There's no argument back and forth to me. It's a loud.
But is the yelling
obnoxious noise.
yelling
I mean,
at
I'm
it?
not like anti against it or anything.
Right,
you know,
right.
But
Is the
this
yelling?
my opinion. It's a
But is the
gimmick
yelling
to
as loud?
horn.
Is the yelling as loud?
Right.
Is
on
the
the,
dust?
on the level that it's loud, like that's gonna wake somebody up.
But
Like
the
if
yell-
high volume is just normal, and somebody sleeping in the house, it could wake them up pretty easily.
Does my yelling
Your
wake up the
yelling's
miss?
good to it too, but I mean,
Hey, Andy, does the yelling wake up the missus?
well, I think your yelling is hilarious. I think it's hilarious. So.
My question is it the same level of decibels? Is it?
No, it's not the same level of decibels.
I mean, I feel like it looks that way on the meter here, but I don't know. Whatever.
But people are gonna
No,
wake
and
up. People aren't gonna wake up to someone talking as much as they're gonna wake up to like a horn.
No, I can
or
wake.
something like
I can
that.
wake. I can scream. All right. Well, anyway, yeah. Every show has gimmicks. That's true. We have a ton of gimmicks. It's not like our gimmicks are going away. I'm not shutting down gimmicks on the show, and I honestly don't think this is me being like catering to the soft crowd or anything like that. I think it just needs to be looked at from a perspective of that there are certain people that watch it differently than other people. And again, Perps, my first reaction, look, we're at a dead tie. 31 to 30 now. 31 no, the Boss Horn should stay. 30 votes yes, the Boss Horn should go. 31-31, it just tied. 62 votes so far. The votes linked in the live stream. This, I mean, it sucks. It sucks. Perps, I am on your side.
How many people are toying with the vote? I mean, we didn't.
But
have
why,
that many votes
if you love the
yesterday,
Boss Horn,
but
if you love the Boss Horn, why would you be a part of its demise right now when you never see it again? You know, I don't think.
there's many people that could care either way. But you know, I don't know. I just look at the whole thing, you know, from the spectrum of if Andy likes your yelling and it doesn't wake someone up. I agree. Voice is a little different than a horn. What if you change the Boss Horn that it's $100 and above, then it happens less frequently, or you do it, you know, at your own, you know, but it's not for
Yeah,
$20
but
super chat.
but again, the
Is
problem.
that an issue?
The problem is, I don't know. Andy, be honest. Would $100? I mean, $100 haulers don't happen a lot. Is it still a problem? Like, how do you feel about if the frequency was way down? I don't know.
I mean, I don't like the horn personally, so I'm not gonna. I mean, it's your show. You do whatever.
I know
you
I
want,
can do it. I know what I can do. That's
I
why
use that to my
I'm holding
opinion.
this
I don't
meeting.
like the horn. I think it's too much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like I say, I deal with.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
there's no pleasing.
I don't want to hear a loud car when I drive down the street. Like,
You
that's
want to
kinda
hear
old
a
man
loud
thing.
car?
But, you know, people love that shit. So what are you gonna do?
A loud car. The problem is,
But
Perps.
whatever.
Hey,
I mean,
hey, Andy,
no, I don't like.
Andy, put your
I think
earmuffs
it's-
on for a second.
I
Perps,
know you're gonna blast it. I don't.
the problem is, Perps, we can't control that a big portion of the viewership is gonna be scared of cars. It's just the nature of it. I know you aren't, Perps. Perps would walk out with his shirt off with a beer in his hand and watch that car drive by and give him a thumbs up and say, "Nice
Oh, yeah,
car!
I love it.
Love that sound." But
That's awesome, bro.
the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. Oh, Spacula says write names on doors. That's exactly what I'm asking. Thank you, Spacula. I'm trying to get something. Perps, if you can think of anything, tell me. I'm trying to get like significant, tangible things. So $20 haulers. I don't know if I could write those on. We'll have to figure out what we're doing with $20 haulers. We might just do the original $20 hauler money thing. But anything above 20, like 50 and above, maybe I write it on the door. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. All right. You guys have any conversation or questions around these conversation pieces right here, Fields? Fields' situation. Can't believe this vote is tied at 35-35. It's unbelievable. What do you guys think of Fields? Is he going to Atlanta? Andy. Sorry, Andy. I raised my voice. Andy.
He's a good fit in Atlanta, like you said. I mean, that's definitely some weapons, but I don't think if I was a franchise that I'd move on Fields. I don't know what the cost would be, but if I was Chicago, I'd let Fields go, and if I was a franchise, I wouldn't pick him. I don't think he's mature enough. He's got the talent, but something's missing.
All right, thanks, Andy, for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right, later.
All right, later. Didn't mean to raise my voice there. Perps, I'm sorry, bro. I'm still not pulling the plug on it, but it's not looking good. 36-36. This vote is tied, and it's going tied down every vote that we get. It sucks. It's not. It is what it is. Right names on the desk. I don't know if I could write it on the marker board over here. But I want to write it permanently somewhere. I don't know if I want it on the desk though, because one season and it's all, I do it on the door. The door I could easily do. The door I could do it on the wall too. I could write it on the wall. We'll have to figure it out. Perps, any other ideas for a $50 and $100 hauler that would be special that you would enjoy?
No, I guess I'll have to think about it. I'm disappointed it came to this, but obviously the numbers have spoken, and you got to do what you got to do for your show. So
yeah,
let's move on from it and talk about football, because we've wasted enough time over 2 days on the boss horn. It shouldn't have even been a topic to talk about from the beginning.
Yeah, it sucks. It is what it is. We talk about all kinds of things here, but yeah. Where did you say you think Fields will be? What's the percentage chance he's in Atlanta? I say 45%, and there's no other landing spot that
he's from there.
Yeah.
He's from there. I'd give it a bigger percentage to be in Atlanta, or I think he stays in Chicago. I don't think he goes anywhere to either Chicago or Atlanta are the two choices that I'm at right now.
How can they keep him at this point? I mean, what a disrespectful way to go about approaching the retaining of a player.
This isn't the first time this has happened in football.
I know.
It's happened to many players like this.
I know.
Ultimately, it's the deep pockets of the owners and the GMs trying to have ego problems and what they want for their team, and they struggle and go back and forth with the head coach. Maybe I don't know. I'm not in those conversations, but
yeah,
I don't think they're going to give Fields away for nothing. The dude's a GM. Whether people believe he did well or not this year is beside the point. His future is what is at stake here. He's on a rookie deal.
Yeah. Thomas says Miss Smitty going to be happy about this. She got a new iPhone out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to do a video on revoking her iPhone. You gotta take that and her headphones away now.
I should walk out there and just go like this. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, tell her.
Give me what? Give me what? Your phone.
It's gone.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Tugging it on it with her. You said, give me the phone. Look, the horn's amazing. We still can do a whole bunch of stuff with it out and about. Man, crazy boss.
But no, that'd be my take on Fields. I mean, they're not going to give him up over anything. I mean, I think it's laughable that he came out and made this statement that he unfollowed the NFL and the Bears because he doesn't want to see it in his feed and he's going on vacation. That's all words. I don't think that's the truth. I think there's something more to it. But why would he tip his hand?
Chicago just does not seem like they're going to keep him. I don't think Chicago. I think their whole thing is, this didn't work, and if we go down this road and it doesn't work again, we're all gone. We're all gone. If we bring in Caleb, and even Caleb has an okay season but shows promise, we're staying another year. I'm not saying everybody makes decisions based on that, but you get more than 1 year if you bring in Caleb. Because you're probably not going to be judged unless you botch it completely. You're not going to be judged on one season. You'll be given an opportunity, because the last thing an organization wants is for a quarterback to keep getting turnover with his coaching staff and having to learn a new offense. And so, yeah, I think that they go the direction of Caleb, but I don't. I think Caleb fails in Chicago. Or I don't want to say he's a bust, but I think he's very high likelihood to fail in Chicago if Waldron doesn't prove me wrong. Shane Waldron's got to prove me wrong. He could. I'm not saying it's impossible, but he's got to prove me wrong in order for Caleb to succeed. And I just don't want Fields to be a part of that. I want Fields to be in Atlanta. Fields is going to blow up in Atlanta. Atlanta's going to love him. Not to mention that's his home. You know, like he might say Chicago's lit. He says Chicago's lit. The fans are. They're great. If it was my choice, I would stay in Chicago. I think that's all being politically correct. You know, that's just pandering to his fan base to be. If he stays, he wants to make sure he's loved there. But it's a business is like taking it in the other direction. That but is a very important word in that series of sentences because, you know, however, but these are words that take a sentence in a different direction. I think he was deliberate in that. And I think he's basically telegraphing that he knows, you know, and I'm sure he knows way more than we know. And he probably isn't saying anything, but I think teams are going to pay a lot for him. I just wonder if the Bears are expecting something insane that other teams aren't going to want to pay, and then they hold off and they don't trade him because of that. That's the only thing I can think of that will fall through, is that the Bears are expecting the number 8 overall pick from the Falcons, and the Falcons are like, what? But as I said last night, I would personally, if push came to shove, I would move this 8 down to a second round pick. So you're not giving up the 8 pick, but you're moving the 8 down into the second round. That is my worst case scenario. I would certainly try and keep the 8. I'd try to give up a future first rounder before I'd ever move the 8 pick down. That's a great pick. But if you're the Falcons and you either have Fields or don't have Fields, who cares about the 8 pick? You know, at the end of the day, I would overpay a little bit and move this pick down a little in order to get Fields, because if I've got Fields and I've got London, I've got Pitts, I got Bijan, and I've got this defense, I've got no other problems. If I can turn this into an offensive lineman, even if it's moving the pick down, I'm doing it. At the end of the day, the Falcon. This is like finagling over something that you regret later that you finagled over. You know, like, oh no, we're not doing that, and then someone else is going to get Fields, or he's not going to get traded, and then the Falcons are like, crap, you should have just did it. I think that's what's going to happen if the Falcons sit on their hands on this one. But hopefully the Falcons are willing to pay whatever the price tag is. I realize it won't be the 8 straight up, but an 8 moved down to the second round is certainly something that I think needs to be looked at. Just because, I mean, the truth of it is the NFL just undervalues players comparatively to draft picks, and it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was a second, a third, and a fourth rounder. He required no first rounders. It was a second and 2/3, or a second, a third, and a fourth. I forget what it was exactly, but it was chump change for Christian McCaffrey, who clearly had another 2-3 years left. You know, we all wondered if he'd stay healthy, but I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy that Christian McCaffrey didn't require a first rounder. That is insane. And it is what it is. So that's why I say Fields getting an 8 overall pick, probably not likely. But should that be happening? Yes. You know, if Chicago, let's say the Patriots wanted to move from 3 to 1, what would that cost? To move from 3 to 1, a future first rounder, minimum. To move 2 spots up, it would cost a future first rounder. For a quarterback that hasn't proven anything yet, you're telling me Fields isn't worth moving from the 8 pick to the second round? I don't understand it. I don't understand how NFL teams value players comparatively to draft picks. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think it all depends on what they have to give up and how much they gave up in years prior and where their cap space is. You know, the value changes for everybody, what their needs are, what they can afford or want to afford, how many pieces they're trying to fill. So year by year, I think it's skewed because so many teams are in different positions when they need players like that. I mean, look at Kirk Cousins. The Vikings have come out and said they're not going to pay what he wants, but they're guaranteed there's a team out there that will.
Yeah.
So,
Second and a fourth.
I mean, there's different.
can't believe Crit McCaffrey went
But-
for no first rounders. That's crazy.
Well, but McCaffrey was smaller and he wasn't as touted as he's proven on the field, right?
McCaffrey, he was top of his game. I mean, he did have trouble staying healthy, but that
and his size was the biggest question mark with him coming into the league, was it not?
No, I'm talking about when he got traded to the Niners. I'm saying at that point, it was.
You're going to that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Is that McCaffrey was traded to the Niners for a second, and 2/3, or a second, a third, and a fourth. I forget what the deal was. That's what I'm talking about. That players are not valued. McCaffrey being given away to the Niners for a second rounder, a third rounder, and whatever it was, a fourth rounder. Like, there's the dumbest trade in the world. The stupidity. And what was even dumber is that no other team stepped in and said, yeah, I'll do that too. Or, hey, let me one up that and give 2 second rounders for Christian McCaffrey. No. But yet a team will trade a future first rounder to just move up to the 1 pick from the 3 or 4. I mean, it's crazy to me. The valuation on draft picks is insane. I know that they're cheap players, especially in the first round, you get that 5th-year option and all. I get it. But Fields is in my opinion, proven commodity. And if he doesn't command an 8 pick, and then let's say you get kicked back a second, so you're just moving it down. You're not giving up the 8 pick. You're moving it down. If that's not worth Justin Fields, I don't know what is. And it's head scratching that the Falcons wouldn't literally go, don't tell anybody, but shit, we give up the 8 just to get him. Because what are you doing to your team? You get Fields. This is a whole different ballgame. It's not even close. You don't get Fields. What are you going to do? Like, I like Penix Jr. I think you could maybe draft the future of your team as well. I get that. I do like Penix Jr. a lot. If that was the case, I'd almost be okay with that. But I'd rather have Fields. Like, would you rather have Fields or Penix Jr. straight up?
Fields, he's proven.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if Penix Jr. is a player you might consider taking if you need a quarterback here at 8, and some will say Penix Jr. is not in the first round, whatever. Wait until the pro days. Or say McCarthy. Would you rather McCarthy or Fields?
Oh, Fields hands down.
Right. So why is the 8 pick more valuable than Fields? It doesn't make sense. Somebody make the math make sense. If 1 + 1 = 2, then how about when we go back over here and isolate it out, and we've got 1 and 1? How come it no longer equals 2 over here? Because we separated it.
Well,
I don't understand. I don't get it.
Look at it from a whole, though. What's the biggest positions that have been touted in this year's draft as the top players?
The quarterbacks.
Right.
And Marvin.
But
Harris.
what if the top number of teams don't need a quarterback, or they're not searching for one, and they're searching for other players on the list? There's those different depth those key players in every draft every year. So he may drop because he's not there. A team's not going to just take him just to take him.
Who are you talking about now? Penix?
It doesn't matter, any quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm just saying as far as ranking them.
Maybe, but look at how many teams that are in the top 16 that need a quarterback. Tons. Way more than there are quarterbacks. So I think Penix Jr. goes early. But if he doesn't, he'll be a steal. Like, if the Falcons, let's just say the Falcons rolled the dice and they said, we're going to take Neighbors at 8. And then they wait till the second round and Penix Jr. falls. That would be absolute amazing drafting, but ballsy. To leave your quarterback decision like blindly alone for a whole round and go into the second round is crazy. But the Falcons have it's been very, very much said the last couple of days, they're going, a lot of people are going on record with sources, of course, unnamed sources, that the Falcons are going to go hardcore at the quarterback, position. So I do not think they're leaving it to second round chance. They're taking one at 8, or they're trading for one, or bringing in Cousins. So we'll see. It'll be crazy, though. It'll be insane. This is going to be one of the most interesting pieces of the offseason. Is this 8 pick, or who's quarterbacking for the Falcons? It's going to be awesome. All right, Perps, anything else?
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. The only other thing I was going to bring up is you shared it in your Instagram post, but looks like Alvin Kamara is going to get some positive movement here coming up.
Maybe. I said this at I forget where in the show, probably like maybe 10 minutes in, that Alvin Kamara. Yeah, here it is. This is the report from what was it? From New Orleans Football. Nick Underhill. Saints offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak will install a run game that will provide Alvin Kamara with more space to operate, but he's also a potential cap casualty consideration because he saves the team $11.7 million if released. But they may not view that as a big chunk of change when it creates an opening in a void, and then they got to go draft that instead of another player. So it depends on the way they look at Kamara. But he's still very much a potential cap casualty candidate, as is DeAndre Hopkins, as is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's got an insane dead cap hit, but they've already made it very clear they're moving on. And the cap room saved if he is released will be about $50 million. But it's also important to make this, the reason that Russell Wilson's being talked about as maybe not starting for an NFL team in 2024 is because they may have to do this as a post-June cut, meaning that he'll have to find a job in June. Like what team is, like it would be the Falcons. What team is not going to have their quarterback situation at least in motion at that point? Everybody will. You can't blindly go into a season without a quarterback, especially the NFL draft. So that's why a lot of people are speculating that Russell Wilson may be a backup quarterback, because by the time he's available, he's going to have to find a few unique situations, one of which could be Las Vegas if they were to roll with O'Connell, New Orleans if they were to roll with Derek Carr, and then Russell Wilson becomes available, Pittsburgh if they were to roll with Pickett and Russell Wilson becomes available, and Miami, who is going to roll with Tua maybe if Russell Wilson becomes available. Those are the four spots that I can find, but the cap casualty conversation is a big one too. Hopkins, Russell Wilson, Alvin Kamara, Mike Williams. There's a handful of Jimmy Garoppolo, DeAndre Hopkins, as I said. Nick Chubb is even a potential casualty. I think he frees up like 12 to 14 million if released. Joe Mixon frees up 6 million. There's a handful of players that could be cap casualties, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Hopkins would be interesting. If Hopkins gets cut, where could he go? What if he went to New York to play with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson? I don't know if I love that for Garrett Wilson, to be honest, but KC, Hopkins to KC would be crazy. Hopkins to Baltimore. I think Hopkins goes to Baltimore, KC, or Buffalo. Imagine if they moved on from Diggs and traded him and they brought in Hopkins. That would be interesting.
Oh, that'd be very interesting. But no, I think you hit the nail on the head there. With the Russell Wilson situation, it all depends what they want to do with him. If they're going to keep him around, he'll be a distraction. Sean Payton wants him out, but it all depends on what happens in spring training. How many times does the quarterback, get hurt in spring training, and now the team's scrambling during preseason games to find a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of time to go before the season starts. A lot of speculation and bold predictions, but I think the combine is going to tell a lot on these young quarterbacks, how they are with pressure and what they're able to do under the big spotlight, and then ultimately, where teams move in the draft, what they're willing to give up, move down, stay the same, what position they're looking to take guys in.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch over the next few weeks here.
The Fractal says Russell Wilson's 2024 dead cap, $85 million, makes no sense to release or trade him. It actually does, because if they cut him, if they mark him as a post-June release, it's $35 million dead cap this year and $50 million the next year. The cap increases and such, it makes it a little bit more easy to maintain. But he's already gone. Sean Payton's already said that was not necessarily his quarterback, and they're moving on. So It sucks that they put themselves in this position, but they asked this guy Russell Wilson to renegotiate his contract so that if he got hurt, they didn't have to pay him the bonus or the injury clause money that was structured into his deal, and then they benched him. So like I don't. The plan was to bench him off of that conversation. So
no, yeah, they've already said
it's not.
The ownership group is going to stand with
not saying it doesn't suck that they made a bad deal, but you divide this up into 2 different years, it becomes a whole different thing. Something around 20 million dead cap is not crazy to teams. So 35 is a lot, and the following year would be 50, but it gets divided up into 2. But people that say Russell Wilson's not leaving because, I don't know if that's what you're saying or if you're just saying it doesn't make sense. They put themselves in a hole. It might be what you're trying to say. But he's gone. He's gone. He's not playing for no, Russell Wilson's gone. He's not playing for the Denver Broncos. It's just a matter of when and how they do it. Correct, Smitty? Broncos eat a year's salary, Russell, even after they cut. Exactly. I'm not saying you were, Fractal, if you were saying that they won't cut him, it doesn't make sense, or you're just saying it doesn't make sense. They put themselves in a hole. All right.
Well, you talked about it on Rumble last night that if he gets picked up on another team, then the Broncos will get credit for part of that salary.
Yeah.
Too, right?
Yeah, those are the things that that aren't said, Fractal, that aren't out there. That there's little tiny ins and outs of contracts and in the cap that I don't even understand, and that attorneys barely understand. And there's a lot of things like where. Let me see if I can find that piece of news somewhere. It was I don't know where it is. Yeah, as soon as he lands with another team, they get credited for part of the salary. It's definitely a complicated situation. It's not as easy as it's made out to be. It's not like, it's 35 whatever $1 million hit and then 53 and that's all there is to it. There's a lot of change to it, a lot of different things that can vary. Let me see if I can find the Russell Wilson clip. Hold on, I got it here somewhere. I don't know. It's around here somewhere.
Because wasn't it like if his dead cap hit is like 80 million? If he gets picked up by another team, it's like a 20 to 30 million credit or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely not what it seems. It's definitely bad, but it's not what it seems. All right.
But it would incentivize them to cut him, though, is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
It would give the Broncos more room to do what they need to do, getting rid of him than keeping him.
Yeah. Not to mention this year alone, by releasing him. By releasing Russell Wilson, you create $49 million of cap space for this year, Fractal. You know what I'm saying? So it may be a hit. Yeah, it may be a hit, but if you're not using him, you don't want to use him, you're willing to bench him because you don't want him to get hurt and have to owe him a ton of money, then you're freeing up $49 million by cutting him. Even though you're taking a huge hit. All right, Perps, we'll see you later, pal. I'll probably be on tonight later. I'm not sure what channel. I imagine Dynasty.
All right, see you.
All right, appreciate you, man. Sorry about the boss horn, Perps. I know he's going to be bummed about it, but I don't even know that I'm taking it away yet. But let's go to the vote. The vote is 40 votes. Should the boss horn go? Oh, I think I was reading the votes wrong earlier when I was saying yes and no. I was reading the opposite side. So, should the boss horn go? Yes, 40 votes. No, 36. Over 52% want the boss horn gone. Out of 76 votes on this live show. 76 of you in here voted. 52% of you don't like the boss horn. That's a big number. If the attorneys don't understand the cap, call Travis Rowe. Oh man, he did a good job last night, but apparently this case still got lost. So that goes as an L on Travis's record, I guess. 52% said the boss horn should go. Unbelievable. Carl, I'm out of here. You got 30 seconds, pal.
I just want to put my 2 cents in about the boss horn.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to this show, big fan by the way, I always use AirPods, earbuds, that type of shit. So you mentioned that when you use it, it typically goes on red. Ideally, I'd like to ask if it could be in the yellow, maybe even in the green. That would be ideal for me, my earbuds. But I don't know if everyone else is using AirPods and whatnot. So I would like to know what people think about that.
Well, I've tried. I wrapped it in 3 shirts, put a Nike shoe on the mic, and then put my thick 2-layer coat on top of it all on the mic, and it still came in just as loud. It's like that horn's going to penetrate walls. You know what I mean? So there's really no way. I could minimize the volume on the mic. It'd be really hard to go into the system settings every time and do that, though, for every $20 hauler. So it just doesn't, if I can't adjust it enough, I would have created some kind of foam wrapped cloth, device that I could just set over the mic every time. It'd be funny. It'd be like, let's put the boss horn, goggles on or whatever, the headphones. And it would have been funny. It would have been I could even put headphones on the little box that I can make and just put it on. It would have been a fun little thing. But I can't even mute. I can't even dumb down the sound. It's so the horn. You don't understand how loud the horn is, man. Like a diesel truck that honks their horn is not as loud as this horn. This horn is louder than any truck on the road. Any diesel hauling trailer. It's louder. It's got 4 trumpets. I won't. Don't worry, sensitive Sammys. I won't be hitting it. These trumpets, like 1 or 2 of these trumpets would usually be on like a truck, and I have 4 of them. I have 4 trumpets powered by a high compressor on top of this drill. And this thing is louder than any truck you could ever hear. So if you're driving down the road and someone cuts you off, you literally could roll your window down to hold it, and everything could be up. Their windows could be up, and they're going to be like startled to death.
Let's be honest, you've done that before, haven't you?
Not yet, but I guess this is going to live in my car now. I mean...
Let's go.
It sucks. I appreciate your feedback, Carl, and you sound like a good guy. You would never stop watching the show because of it. But my whole thing, and I know, Perps was, he's going to be very pro keeping it and like find solutions to keep watching. But the problem is, as a content creator, I can't ask everybody to go through hoops to listen to my show, or they're just going to start listening less, even if they try. And that's not how you operate. I can't operate a channel like that. It's not about being a wuss and backing down and letting the crowd influence my content. I'm not doing that. I'm making a business decision to make sure that the view count doesn't drop because I'm being stubborn about a sound. It's fun, but I mean, we've had a lot of fun with it. I feel like we've had so much fun with it for a lifetime already in a packed, month or 2, but apparently it's not well received. I mean, I'll go back to the poll right now. The poll is still tallying up. And the last I checked, it's 42 to 37. 53% of the viewers right now out of nearly 100 votes says to get rid of the horn. Unbelievable.
Well, it was like, damn. I guess it's the end of the era. Dude, listen. Boss Horn Smitty was one of the most not give a F Smitties ever. And this was a hilarious era. So I loved it, man. I loved it, bro.
Oh, you're part of its demise. You voted. You know that you voted to get rid of it. Be honest.
I mean, bro. It was in the red. The shit low key hurts. Like,
I know, but but that's the part that's frustrating for me. And I'm not mad at you or anybody else, but the fact that I don't know, it just sucks. It sucks because it was a really awesome part of the show. I wish the decibel. What if I took? Let's try one thing. Let's take off all the trumpets but one, and let's just see what it looks like.
You can do that? Okay, yeah, let's try that.
I don't know if the sound's going to come out of this anyway, though. of the holes. But I never even thought of doing this. I'll leave the smallest trumpet. I don't know if we can call it a boss horn now. It's more like a middle management horn, a red collar horn. All right, ready? Here we go. Oh God, that's louder than before. It's squealed out of these 3 holes.
All right, I'm a back out. You clearly have decisions to make. This has now become very complicated.
All right,
hey,
later.
you have a good night.
Later, Carl.
Just shout out to you, Boss Horn Smitty.
Yeah, later. Carl's he's not a fan of the boss horn at all. That was louder than before. It was like it squealed out of those holes. I'm sorry about that if there's any of you that were not expecting that. I warned you. I gave you a signal. That was still very loud. God. Don't worry, I'm not going to fire it off. Calm down. I'm just screwing the trumpets back in. I thought, it almost started playing music. God, that was loud. I thought maybe we had something. Perps, I thought maybe I had the solution to take off the 3 trumpets. I thought for sure this was going to work. I was getting excited.
Since everyone hates it and we're not going to run with it, you take $100 for it and ship it to my house. I'll take it and use it.
No, this thing is glorious. I can't get rid of this. I think we're going to do a lot of like pranks with it.
You can't. You're gonna hurt people's feelings.
No, I can edit it and lower it down. That 4-minute video I did, I literally took as soon as the trumpet sound was about to happen, I clipped it and I lowered the volume of that particular clip to about 15% instead of 100%, and it was like, it sounded loud but acceptable. So I almost feel like I got to use this on like an edited video. But I could go do some pranks outside with people. We could hide it around a bush, and I could hold the button and ask somebody some trivia and be like, who scored more touchdowns this week, blah, blah, blah. And then if they say no, I'll hit the button. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Plus, in the worst case scenario, Perps, I'm keeping it in my car. And when people cut me off, I'm going to hold down the boss horn and be like, God, I got to be honest with you. I'm just being completely honest. I do get a little bit of migraines using the horn. It's that, like how much can I not understand what people are saying if like I'm in the room with it, so it's a little different.
Yeah, but you're in a 6x7.
I know.
You're just echo.
But part of me is like, am I actually going to be doing myself? Because I don't wear the proper ear protection because we fired off so much. Like, is part of me going to save my ears? Maybe. Also, that squeal was so loud without the 3 other trumpets. Like, my head is just throbbing. It was like an animal getting hit by a vehicle. That's what it sounded like.
Let's be real. The real talk should be, why aren't people hitting the thumbs up button? We had over 100 people
That's
in
true.
tonight. We only have 60 on there.
That's true.
That should be the real discussion.
That's
How come
true.
Everyone can't even hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, you can vote.
Why can't people? But they're going to take the chance to vote on the boss horn. You're going to listen to that.
You're going to vote the boss horn down. We got almost as many votes on that than we do thumbs up. That's pretty ridiculous. Hit that thumb up button. All right, Perps, appreciate you. Please DM me some ideas as to what you would... Oh, okay. See you, Perps. Perps, DM me some ideas as to what you think would be a good celebratory $100 hauler, $20 hauler, etc., etc. Hoosier says, Smitty, I'm 100% behind you if you stop using the horn because of your health and hearing. Hoosiers doesn't want it. Or maybe Hoosiers did want it. But maybe it does. Maybe it does help me. I also had a great idea that if somebody cared enough, they could put the boss horn in a 7-day prison. And we could put a little cage right here, and I could put the boss horn in, lock it, because somebody dropped a $50 hauler, and in the $50 hauler hashtag prison for Boss Horn or whatever. And then if somebody did a $100 hauler and said Boss Horn bail bondsman or Boss Horn bond for 50, you could get it out of jail. And then everybody could just keep trying to imprison or release the Boss Horn. You know, I thought that would be a phenomenal little spin on this thing. So like somebody be like, I don't want the Boss Horn anymore. Here's $50. And then I put it in the Kenobi says trash horn. See, Kenobi's an OG too. So like, it's not like this is like random people we don't know. I would love to have had a Boss Horn prison. Put it in prison for 7 days unless somebody bails it out for 100. And basically, you'd have to do double whatever. So if somebody put it in prison for 50, somebody got it out for 100, you have to double it. So someone would have to put it back in prison for 100 or 200. And eventually, it would have to stay where it is. Like if someone put it in prison for 200 and no one wanted to drop a 400, it would stay in prison for a month or for 7 days. We could have made this glorious. That could have been awesome. You had to double to get it into the opposite position. Double the super chat that got it in there. That would be awesome. Do a Boss Horn night. See how many show up. That's true, Matto. See, like, hey, this is going to be a Boss Horn show. And just see what haters show up. I'm here. Roll call. Well, but the bottom line is if people are telling me over and over that they're watching less of the show, I don't know. Kind of a sad day. Retire the Boss Horn. I think it's being retired. I'd love it at half the volume. We tried. I mean, I could. It'd be too hard to set the settings over and over, you know, on it. Denny, you're live. What's up, Denny?
Smitty.
What's up?
Just want to say hi.
What's up? Hi. You're live.
Are you mad at me?
No.
Are you mad at me?
No. The last 2 times you've called me before my show starts, you just call in randomly. I don't even think you listen to the show, to be honest. I think you just dial. I think you just dial in.
No.
Or you watch a show and you think it's live a lot of the time. That's where you message all those comments. You're like, Smitty won't pick up the phone. Okay, but you called in twice on the, not the last 2 shows, but 2 of the last, I don't know, handful of shows. You called in and I said, hey, I'm going live, Denny. Call right back. And you didn't call back. You passed out, I think, on both those occasions. So I haven't heard from you since then.
All right. Can we talk as friends?
Yes, as friends. Go.
How about
the guy?
Justin Fields.
Yes. How about Justin Fields?
So he ghosted Chicago.
He said on a podcast with Amon-Ra St. Brown that he still messes with Chicago. He said that, you know, just because you unfollow somebody doesn't mean you're not messing with them anymore. It's just he doesn't want to see, you know, Chicago stuff on his feed all the time. Trying to keep his head clear. That's all. But yeah, I think that's his talk, right?
Oh no! As soon as you ghost your team, you're done. So I wouldn't mind. All right. Number 3 pick. Smitty.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Number 3 pick. I'm the New England Patriots, all right?
Marvin Harrison, number 3. Trade for Fields. We've gone over this on the show. It's one of my favorite moves.
And I just go, what? You know what? I kind of like Jake May. You don't like Jake May?
Hey, Denny, can I have you do a couple things? Can I have you say?
Sure.
Can I have you say $20 hauler? Go. Do some sort of. I'm gonna maybe I'll use you as the new. Would you be honored if when someone did a $20 hauler, they hear your voice say, "He just dropped a $20 hauler."
$20 hauler. $20 hauler.
Okay, give me a $50 hauler.
50. should say 50 or 50. Nah, I don't think $50 holler. $50 holler.
Give me $100. Give me $100+ holler. I'm gonna use this. I think.
$100+ $100+ dollar holler. $100+ holler. All right, Smitty,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I might use those. Thank you. Do I have permission to use those without paying you royalties? Okay. Thank you.
It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Fields, New England for a couple second rounders, let's say. Let's just say it costs a couple second rounders. Do it. Throw it at it. Fields, bring him to New England. Draft Marvin Harrison Jr., number 3 overall. Easiest decision. Cakewalk. Cakewalk.
I kind of like it.
Cakewalk. Easy stuff. Easy stuff.
Smitty. Okay, so Fields ghosted Chicago, right? So where's that going? You know what I mean? Smitty?
No.
Smitty, listen, I know you can zip a ball, but where's that going?
I don't think it's going anywhere. I think they're going to break up. I think Fields and Chicago are done.
All right.
We just talked
Can I
about that,
ask you
though.
a couple more questions?
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me with it.
Okay. This is the best question I need, and I really need you to answer this. Okay. You got the number 3 overall pick. All right, Smith? What are you doing? You're the New England Patriots, all right?
I think we just went over this, too. I take Marvin Harrison Jr. with the number 3 overall pick, and I give up 2 second rounders if I need to for Justin Fields.
Oh, I just kind of don't get it. I really don't understand what you're saying.
Denny, where are you at right now? Are you in Vegas?
No, I'm in Boston.
Are you at a blackjack table, Denny? Are you at a blackjack table right now?
No. Smitty. No, I'm not. You know what I do? Always bet black.
Do I hear a slot?
What I like to do, I like to go into a casino,
Uh-huh.
and I just throw $100 down, and I go, hey, this is my ATM. And I go, $100, and then I throw black. And then it's $100 that I get back, usually. Smitty.
Yeah.
You can zip it. I met you. All right.
Thank you. Hey, Denny, real quickly, you know what I just realized? I had music playing in the background. I need some clean audio. Can you give me a $20 holler, $50 holler, $100 holler? Give me all 3 of them again. Go ahead. Go.
$50 holler. Give me $20 holler. Give me Smitty $20. No.
Okay, give me
I got a better voice. I got a nice voice.
Give me a $100 holler. Go.
Give me $100 holler. 'Cause Smitty's getting bothered. And everyone. That's fine.
Okay, give me one more for the 50 and one more for the 20. I just need to cut this up.
Smitty.
Yeah. One more.
Smitty.
Just one more. That's all I ask. I want a $20. Give me a $20 one. Give me a $50 one. Go.
Give me $50 holler. Smitty, give me $50. Oh, yeah. Give me $20 holler. 'Cause everyone's getting bothered. And Brees Hall isn't bothered. Dude, they ain't. Everybody you love ain't gonna be the one. All right?
Oh my God, Denny, those are better than the boss horn. I don't know if you heard, but the boss horn's getting retired. Yeah.
Smitty?
Yeah, be honest with me.
I don't like the boss horn.
Denny, you don't even know what happened today, and even Denny doesn't like it. Why don't you like the boss horn? Tell me.
I don't like it.
Why?
I find it very annoying. And then I worry about Miss Smitty. You know? I'm like, is she mad? Is everyone mad? Why is it so loud?
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. This is why the vote's 43-39. As much as us Boss Horn Pro people are excited about it, the people that hate it, they hate it. They hate it.
I hate it. Oh, I love everyone.
And he wasn't even here. You guys can tell he doesn't know what's going on with this. He just showed up.
I don't.
He has no idea that we've been voting on this for 2 days, really.
Well, I hate the Boss Horn. Oh man, the only reason why I like it is if we were like, if me and you were arguing, and I was like, man, I just got kind of like the quick one. And I was like, I know Smitty, like, man. No, I really can't.
Hey, Braun says he'll pay you $20 right now if you promise to stop singing. You know what? Let's try and test that out. Go ahead, Denny. Once you sing until Braun drops, sing until Braun drops his $20 holler. Go. You sing until you can't sing anymore. Braun, we're waiting for you. Go.
I wish Braun would pay me right now. I wish Braun wished he was a man of his word, and that he'll pay me $20.
We're waiting, Braun.
Stop playing. Did he pay it?
Nope, not yet.
Oh. Smitty, everybody's pretty. I don't even know why they're getting ditty. Why doesn't he? I thought he was the man of his word. But I do die and I live by the sword. And anyone who lies, then they all die. No, I'm saying, is it paying?
No. There's no sign of Braun's $20 holler. I'm waiting for it.
So what did he say? He
said I'll pay $20 right now if you promise to stop singing, Denny. Keep going.
You shout about Fabian's gone, so they might see the vine. Another prison ship waiting by the bay. Hello. Is he?
Nothing.
Did he get it?
Nothing. I don't even see him. Maybe he's reaching for his credit card. I'm not sure, but we haven't seen him. He hasn't been commenting. He came in and made this vow, and we haven't seen him.
You know, I can't.
Mr. TD, we'll see you later.
People. I can't stand people that lie. You know, it's such a lie.
Braun, we're waiting. We're waiting.
You know,
someone said you have the voice of an angel. Someone said you're the songbird of your generation. Mr. TD, we'll see you later, Mr. TD. Braun's nowhere to be found. Braun is nowhere to be found. Why don't you serenade Braun a little bit? There we go. He paid. $20 holler. Denny, you're done. You're done. I got to be a man of my word. Call me later tonight. Appreciate you.
All right, later on.
Denny, to the moon. Braun, I got to be a man of my word. If Braun's going to be a man of his word, Braun says, please, God, Denny, stop it. $20 holler. God, I was going to get the boss horn out, and I can't do that anymore. So, unfortunately for you, Braun, eventually the $20 holler will have that $20 holler Denny, song. So, until then.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Braun stepping up like a monster. Braun, appreciate your $20 holler, bro. I was just kind of messing with you. I appreciate you dropping that, though. Braun to the freaking moon. Hung like Hernandez dropped this a while ago. God, did I forget to respond to this one? Listening to the horn is like listening to the Count's rant makes me want to walk into oncoming traffic. Hung like Hernandez does not like the boss horn. Hung like Hernandez, you still here, bro? Appreciate you. Thank you for the $20 holler, Braun. The final caller of the night is Bill the Tickler. Bill, I can't be here long. I'm on the way out the door. What can I do for you, young man?
I was trying to do for you, brother. I was figuring if I start singing, who will super chat and pay into you?
Let's try it out.
I'm just trying to contribute to the show.
Let's try it out.
In the utmost way I can.
Okay. Hung Like an Ant is so sorry about the delay on responding to that. I think I put it on screen or I mentioned it or something, but I didn't. I'm sorry about that. All right. So when we try it out, somebody super chat if they want Bill to stop. Bill, go ahead.
So a little Whitney Houston for you, and Denny, this is for you, brother.
Okay, I want you to.
I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody who loves.
Can you mix in? Can you mix in some like player names like Denny was? Denny was imprompting like his own lyrics. So that
Mahomes want to throw with somebody who can catch the ball. All right, there's the start. All right, where do you go from there, Smitty?
I don't know. I don't know. I think everybody left. I think everybody said, "Forget this, I'm out." All right.
Yeah, as well they should be. Smitty, boss horn forever.
Yeah.
But if it goes away, what a pleasant surprise when it comes back someday. That was poetry for you, my friends. Love you, Smitty.
All right, thank you.
See you later, brother.
Thank you for that wonderful song. Later. Bill the Tickler out. That one was... I don't know. Why did Denny sound so magical and that one didn't quite hit the same? Bill, I'm sorry. Bill. All right. On that note, we'll see you all later. I think Bill thought he was really trying. You know when some of the things like they pretend like they're joking, but they really want to like someone to find them. Like maybe someone's listening. I think Bill was really taking that seriously. All right. I appreciate you all. The super chat money throwing gimmick ruins the flow of the show. We shouldn't do anything. Just replace it with the moment of silence. That definitely waking the wife up. Is this waking the wife up?
Alert. Super chat alert.
Don't worry. What's going to be replacing it will be those 3 songs of Denny saying $20 holla. Andrew says this show is driving him to drink. Andrew, you were one of the anti-Boss Horn people, and you were able... The Boss Horn's been retired, essentially, by way of vote. Over 51.2% of the people have said get rid of it. And you were one of them, Andrew. So how are we not heading in the right direction for you? As counsel for the chat, I feel a responsibility. Chat, yeah, man. Smitty, at a later date, I deserve a chance to negotiate terms on the Boss Horn. Maybe, Travis. Call in tonight. We'll just... I don't know if anybody wants to even talk about it anymore, but I don't know. At this point, I mean, there's no argument. Perps, I understand Perps' stance. I understand your stance. I understand it because that's my stance too. Your stance and Perps' stance is my stance. But I also know that this is not a fabricated number. This is in my DMs. This is in the comments of all the videos, especially the ones as of late. This is in the phone calls. We literally have taken phone calls, and I would say higher percentage than this. I'd say 70 to 80% of every random phone call we've taken on getting the Boss Horn's opinion has been a negative Boss Horn call. Maybe 80%. 80% of maybe 7 or 8 calls have been negative. So there's just no denying it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants a Boss Horn on Rumble. That's maybe an idea. That Matt O, that's a good one. Maybe Travis can negotiate that. Because that has nothing to do with the YouTube channels and that show we're growing anyway. We've got 4. But then again, I mean, if I don't know. We'll find out later. I appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. We'll probably be live on the Dynasty channel. I'll probably go live from the backyard tonight. I haven't done my backyard live stream yet. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all my $20 haulers and super chats and all that. DeBalt, Hung Like Hernandez, Braun, you guys are phenomenal. Thank you, Perps, for being on the phone and discussing this all. Thank you, Travis. I'm sorry to the people disappointed. Congratulations to the Boss Horn, anti-Boss Horn group that got their way. I'm not mad at you. We'll see you all later. I gotta admit though, if I'm being completely honest, I got a big migraine from the boss, especially that one with the 3 trumpets off. Oh my God. Part of me wonders if I will, even with headphones on, because look, we put a shoe, wrapped it in 2-3 shirts and put a heavy coat over it with 2 linings in it over the horn, and it still was just as loud. I don't think the headphones are really doing anything. I have a feeling that like I would have over time lost some hearing. So maybe the chat it's a sign. I don't know. It's that loud in person. Like, you guys don't know. I have a migraine right now. It is what it is. See you all tonight. We might be drafting tonight. So Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Do it live. I'm going to drop the link right now if anybody wants to jump in. I don't know. We might do Dynasty Channel instead. But we'll be getting hardcore into draft season as the coming weeks, you know. Probably pick it up as we head toward the NFL draft, but then really hit it hard right after the NFL draft and start drafting rookies and such. All right, later. Migraines from all the whining and crying, maybe. Combination. Thank you, Braun, for the 20. Braun says Boss Horn for life. We'll still incorporate it into the show. Don't worry. We'll not on the live streams, but like I'll do some stuff where I go out and about and edit the audio for everybody so they don't get all upset. And you'll go watch me aggravate other people with the Boss Horn, and that will give you some enjoyment. Promo code Boss Horn. You can get up to 10% discount by using code Smitty at bosshorn.com.